In the previous video, we have learned what is the difference between a variable and constant. Now let's use them in Python. For that, I want to work in script mode. Now, if you don't know what is script mode, right now this is interactive mode. When I created a new file, I have started my script mode. If you do not know what are these modes in Python, you can check the video. I have already created a video for difference between interactive mode and script mode, where to use, when to use. For just short, for making a summary, for just summarizing, your interactive mode is used when you have a single command, and script mode is used when you have more than one command. So I am going to find the area of a circle using constant variable where I will be having multiple commands. That's why I started with script mode. So let's start with the comment first. It's always good to give comments before you start your program. So this program will use variable and constant. So let's write first let's take the variable, because when we find the area of a circle, the variables are area and radius. So let's take radius from the user. First, if you are taking it as a constant, like let's see the radius is 2 centimeter. Okay, so we won't write centimeter over here, we just write 2. And then to find the area, let's store the area of the circle in a variable named as area1. You can take area also, that doesn't make any difference. So as I told you, when you take a variable, it is naming the identifier, it is an identifier. So while naming a variable or while naming an identifier, it should always start with an alphabet. So this is how I can also write it as R1 followed by a number, but I can't write 1R. So the formula to find the area is pi multiplied by R1 multiplied by R1, or you simply give R, that is more comfortable. I can give R11 also. So there are different names that you can give, but right now I have not defined pi, which is going to be constant. So let me define the pi identifier, which is a constant. It is going to be 3.14. And if I want to print this, so let me give a print statement where the message will, your message which is text is always goes inside the double quotes. The area, and then you want to display the variable in which you are storing the area. So the way where you are storing the area of the circle, again it is area. So let me save it in a folder so that you can easily find it. And when you work in script mode, there is an advantage that your work is safe for future. So anytime you can access it. If you want to edit, you can change it easily. So this is how it is then your interactive mode. So let me give variable and constant. Name which can remind you what this program contains. So because you are making number of programs, so which with the name you can identify what this program actually contains. That will help you to easily access what do you want. So let's run this. Now it is telling me the area of the circle is 12.56. Now if I change this to 4, and then you have to save it, then again run. Let's see. So you can see that the area has changed as per my radius. So over here my radius is changing, similarly my area is changing. So radius and area both are variable, and pi, which is same in every case, is a constant, as I told you also. Let's see if my radius is the identifier over here. It gets stored at a particular location. Let's see this particular room, and the address of this room is this, which I cannot identify, can't remember. So I have given a nickname R, and it has got stored the value, like in my case it was 2 and 4, so you can write 2 or 4 each time this value changes. And you can say that area is also get stored somewhere in this memory, and again it has got an address which is hard to remember, so you have declared this address as an identifier, a variable area. So the value after calculation gets stored over here. Let's see if I am accepting number from the user, two numbers, and then I'm adding them. How can I do that? For that, let me take a new file. Again over here I will be adding two numbers. They both will keep on changing. I will accept the user from the user, numbers from the user, so they will keep on changing. So they are known as variables, and the sum is also going to change as per the numbers. So sum will also be a variable. So I will be having three variables in this program. So let's see, taking input user, so when you take the input from the user, again you have to store those numbers in a variable, right? So let's take them as num1, num1 to store the first number, and then to input I will use the input method or input function. Then I will display the message in double quotes, enter first number. Then num2 and input again, enter. Now I have to add them, so I can store the sum in a variable sum1, and then to add them I'll just write num1 plus num2, and to display the sum you can simply, where you're storing the sum in sum1, so simply without the, this will be displayed without the message. Okay, so let me save it, add two numbers. So I'm simply adding this, and then let me run this. First it will take two numbers from me. As per the program, you can see it is displaying the message enter first number, and then let me add a number. Then it will ask for the second number, enter second number, let me add another number. And then what do you say? Is it the sum of these two numbers? No, it is not the sum of these two numbers. Why? Because the value though entered by the user are considered as text in Python. So you have to convert these values into integer type or number type. So it's, how can you do that? There are two ways. Either you add float or int like this. What it will do, it will change the value into float. Float means decimal. So if I do this and save it, I will get the result in, let's say 2 and 3, I will get 5.0 because float means decimal. But instead of this, what I can do, I can simply, then while you are accepting from the user, over there only you can add the data type. Int means you want integer data type, right? Whatever the value will be entered by the user will be considered as integer type. So now You can see the sum is 9. Similarly, you can find the um, what you can else find. Let me tell you, you can find the multi product of them, and you can like if you're subtracting them, I will write sub 1 and then num 1 minus num 2 like this. Similarly, you can have the product like product 1, something like this. So variable, these identifiers you can relate and make them crisp and short but meaningful, right? So num1 multiplied by num2, this is how you can do it. And if you are dividing the numbers, and div1 equals to num1 divided by num2, this is how you can do it. And if you want to print the message also, then again in double quotes, and the variable that you are going to display, which is storing the sum, should be separated by a comma. The sum of two numbers is like this. You can do it, and let me give a gap over here and enter. E was missing here, so save and then run. Enter the first number, enter the second number, and this is how it is displaying the sum. Why it is not displaying others like subtraction, product and division? Yes, you're right, because I have not printed them. So you can copy paste and print them as well. So over here it is going to be sub, and over here it is going to be product, and it is going to be div1, and you have to change the this one also. Subtraction, the product and division. So let's save and run this again. Now my first number is 2, second number is 4, and second number is 2. So the sum is 6. Subtraction of these two numbers is 2. Again the product is 8 and the division is 2. So division is by default given in decimals. In case the number is not a whole number as a question, so it will give you the result in remainder in decimals. So I think the variables are clear to you. Let me tell you similarly again, as I have taken num1 and num2, so they get stored over here in the memory and the values get assigned over here. So with the nickname that are known as identifier, you can use them in your program as we have used here. So I think now you are clear with what is a variable and what is a constant. Constant we have used when we were finding the area of a circle using the radius. So radius and area were the variables, and constant was the value pi, which remains fixed when we change the radius. For more, you can check other tutorial. I have created other tutorial on Python. You can check that. So the link will be given in the description. Keep sharing, keep learning, keep exploring, and subscribe. Thank you.